and welcome back to Better Than Fiction with Eden and Jeanette.
Welcome.
It is our March wrap-up, intro to April here, so we're still trucking along pretty good on our ends. I completed all of my tasks, I think, in the first 2 weeks of March this month. So I was on the ball this time. Last month I was dragging. This time I was on top of it for once.
Well, I am happy to say that I too have finished. It was kind of like that immense world, fantastic nonfiction. Totally can see why it won awards and why it's on more lists. But it's very readable. I actually stopped reading it, went to audio. The guy's British clipped accent is perfect to listen to nonfiction.
Yeah.
It was so clear and kept up the pace. It was just a lot of information. It was almost too overwhelming. I would recommend anyone reading it, read some of it and then let it sit. And then read some more and then contemplate it. It was a lot listening to it constantly to get through. But other than that, everything else was done pretty early this month too. So yay.
So, to recap, what we had read from our TBR list was our book number 3, and mine was Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and that was as good as romance. It was all right.
Okay, that's getting a lot of really interesting reviews because that's a trilogy.
It is, yeah.
And so do you recommend it? Because I was thinking, do I need to put that on my, of course, make my TBR list longer? And would you read the other two?
I did actually end up reading the second one because that one happened to be our book prompt, which was Marriage of Convenience. So I did read the second one, and I will be picking up the third one. It's good romance, kind of on that saucier side of romance, which is my personal favorite brand. I don't know. It's good. I wouldn't recommend it for wide variety of people, I guess.
That's good to know.
Yeah. But I own it if you want to borrow it. I wouldn't mind. Yep. So then, like I said, I did read My Marriage of Convenience, which was, what was that one called? Terms and Conditions, again by Lauren Asher. And then my nonfiction was called Green Witchcraft by Paige Vanderbeck. And that one, it was interesting. It was how to grow your own herbs, and it was kind of like a recipe book then at the end of it, after it talked about like the history of where the green witch came from, which I thought was interesting because I like to grow and dry my own teas, so that's what drew me to this book. And then I did finish my where am I here, 23 books in 2023 this month.
So now it's all gravy on that one.
Now we both finished that, so and I only crossed out 2 more off of my bingo sheet. One of them I was tossing between what I wanted to cross it out for. I ended up crossing it out for read a translated book. It was called The Ghetto Within.
Fantastic.
Jeanette had recommended me that one, and I was going to use it for I had 3 others, I guess. A genre I don't typically read. I don't typically read translated works, or a friend recommended book from a friend with different reading tastes, which same thing. You read a lot of translated work, and I don't. So I ended up just crossing it off for translated work.
And The Ghetto Within, what made it so interesting is it's looking at a young Jewish man who left Germany way beforehand, who was very much into the fascists for a while, or communism.
Yeah.
And he moved to Argentina well before World War II started. And you know how the parent-child relationships kind of go, they kind of drift apart, especially when no FaceTime, remember, it was always by letters. And World War II starts, and
he's learning through the paper what's happening to his mom and his brother.
And his sister.
Sister was in Russia.
Yes, but that was even
still,
worse.
Yeah.
And he's got the guilt. So it is a look at World War II through different eyes that I had never read really before. And it was utterly fantastic, not very long. But
gosh, no.
So powerful.
Very thought-provoking, yeah.
Well, my roundup, I was pretty excited about. For my prompt, I read The 100 Loves of Juliet. And it was a fast-moving time travel, you know, the broken up loves of Romeo and Juliet, and how every so often they meet, but they happen and it falls apart. And Romeo is quite sad.
Yeah.
Because it's Juliet who doesn't always remember him. He always remembers her. But very interesting, very fast read. Was kind of nice. I read our arranged marriage. It was Rosie's Gamble by Carol Brad. It's kind of that Western mail order.
Oh, mail order bride.
Yeah,
Those
that
are
kind of
fun.
thing. Yeah, it was a lightweight read. It was nice, so I read that very fast. I, of course, read An Immense World, which took in the 500s. Yep. So off my bingo sheet, I did cross off a couple of different ones. I did get to sneak in, that's another 300s book, which is The Swedish Art of Aging Exuberantly. And this short little book is written by an 80-some-year-old Swedish woman who wrote The Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, if you remember any of that. But this was funny, and I think someone of any age will find the humor and kind of those life reminders, life lessons.
Yeah.
So that was nice. So I did cross off that one off my recap list.
Awesome. So now we'll do pull our number for April. Here. Let's see.
All right, what are we reading?
We'll be reading number 7, which for me is The Japanese Lover by Isabel Allende.
Allende,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a good one. You said number 7?
Yep.
I am reading A Special Place by Peter Straub. So this is going to be kind of that thriller, horror genre.
Very different.
So,
Mine's
borrow your pen, please?
Yeah.
So happy spring to me.
Yeah. And then our book prompt, I'll let you draw that one.
Our book prompt is read a juvenile book. So we're heading to the tween area, the JFIC area.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. You know, I just read a really good article on juvenile fiction, and that adults should not stop reading it.
Yeah.
Because it's good for your brain, it's good for empathy, it's good to be reminded
what it means to be 12.
what it means to be 12, and what their fears are. So, and there were some other things, but I thought, oh, that is true. I read juvenile books because I purchase juvenile books.
Right.
But do I typically read them for pleasure? Not necessarily. I read them mostly for work. So
yeah.
That will be our prompts.
And then for my nonfiction this month, I am going to the 700s and reading This Is What It Sounds Like, what the music you love says about you. I'm really excited to get into this, as I studied music in college, so this is going to be nice to kind of dive back into that for me. Yeah.
My nonfiction is going to be I'm going to the 100s.
There you go.
A Haunted History of Invisible Women. You know, right now there's a lot of feminist writing. There's a lot of talk about women behind the scenes and not getting credit. Even in the ghost world, we're going to talk about literal invisible women. So it's just kind of fun reading something out of the 100s.
Yes,
so.
yep.
Should be fun.
And then I wanted to talk about a book I finished yesterday. It was an advanced reader copy, or ARC, is in the book community. We get them through being at a library. This one is set to be published the day before my birthday, July 11th this year. It's called Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. And this was just everything I love in a romance book. It's a dual point of view. It goes back into their history, their exes. She's a wedding planner. He's a florist. His last name is Bloom, so it's pretty on the nose there. And it was just so fun and delightful to read. I will be putting it on my list to recommend to purchase for the library because I enjoyed it that much. Yeah.
Did you have another?
And then I just picked up Tessa Bailey's new book, Secretly Yours. Same kind of vein, contemporary romance, which is my favorite kind of reading. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Well, anyone who knows me knows I love book lists. As one woman, one of our book clubs said, it's my Oscars. Absolutely, I did not watch the Oscars, don't really care about them as a whole. But you give me the long list for the Booker Award or the Women's Fiction Award,
Yep.
I'm all over it. So both of those lists, so the International Booker Award long list has come out, as well as the Women's Prize for Fiction. And for those of you that are interested, we already have quite a few of the women's fiction long list. I've ordered the rest, so they are on their way. What was interesting about this list is there was maybe only one or two that I was like, oh, I don't know if they'll go into it. But I've decided to go ahead and get them because they have such a wide range of fiction. So all of them will be in, and you'll be able to search by Women's Fiction Prize because it is in there. The Booker International long list is out. I will say we'll end up with maybe about half of them. Some of them are a little difficult actually for me to get in. Believe it or not, there's actually one book that won't even send to libraries. They will not send to businesses. So I'm gonna, order that for myself at home so I can, read my Oscar list.
Yep.
But I'm gonna start the International Booker Award list with Pyre. And this is an Indian translation.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be interesting. I don't read a lot from India. Just the common or the more popular stuff that hits the bestseller list. I tend to read some of those. So this I'm looking forward to get started on that. List. So. And if anyone else is reading, don't forget your reading logs. Let's see, I think I have now read 35 books this year.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so writing it down. I also want to talk about our book club books. We are actually reading 2 nonfiction books this month for book club. The Classics book club is reading In Cold Blood. This is a nonfiction classic. There's not a lot of nonfiction on classic lists, but this is one of them, so we're taking that on. And the other one is called Cultish, and it's really talking about how you speak. It's talking about words and how words have changed, how words that used to be very bland words have become very powerful words. And so as book club, words are powerful.
Yeah.
Books are powerful because of the words that are chosen. So we're taking on language.
Oh, that one was fantastic. I finished it this weekend too.
I'm pretty excited about it. The Sunday book club, which I am so happy to say is doing really well. In fact, so well that we are going to make it part of our normal book club lineup after our hiatus. So just to let you know that we are on hiatus May, June, and July. So April is our last book discussion. Then we take 3 months off. This gives you time to read your TBR list. And then books are in August for the discussion in September. So if you're curious about the Sunday, we are keeping it. Our last Sunday book club, though, we are reading Bewilderment by Richard Powers. You might be thinking, ooh, that author's name is familiar to me. Why? He wrote Overstory, which won a lot of awards the year it came out. The story about basically a tree. The Overstory is about a tree and our connection to the natural world and the generations that are connected to a space and a tree. And it was so wonderful that I think I gave a big portion of my Christmas list that book that year because it was so powerful. It's a commitment book, but it's really good and it does read fast. So please join us if you're interested. The books are here, and then we'll be off for those months for everyone to garden, be outside, and read your TBR list under a tree.
Yep. All right. Well, again, our number this month is 7, and we will be reading a juvenile book for our book prompt.
Hey, I'm excited. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, and happy April, and enjoy spring reading.
Yes.